جاءت الطامة الكبرى يوم يتذكر الإنسان ما سعى وبرزت الجحيم لمن يرى فأما من طغى وآثر الحياة الدنيا فإن الجحيم هي المأوى وأما من خاف مقام ربه ونهى النفس عن الهوى فإن الجنة هي المأوى يسألونك عن الساعة أيان مرساها فيما أنت من ذكراها إلى ربك منتهاها إنما أنت منذر من يخشاها كأنهم يوم يرونها لم يلبثوا إلا عشية أو ضحاها صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات.
Thank you, Brother Ali Al-Amin, for the beautiful recitation. Now I would like to invite Sayyid Hassan Akhtar to recite some Urdu poetry. So with a loud salawat, let's please welcome him.
Muhammad Alim Salawat. So this is the story of Hazrat Fatima, of pain and suffering after her father left this world, inshallah. So the translation is there. दिल थाम लो सुनाऊं कहानी में फातिमा की जुल्म सितम और गम की कहानी ये फातिमा की. So this is getting repeated after every four verses. ज़ौजा थी वो अली की, बेटी थी वो नबी की, जन्नत की रहने वाली, प्यारी थी वो नबी की, पाला था खतीजा ने, थी लाडली सभी की, टुकड़ा है ये जिस्म का, हदीस थी नबी की. दिल थाम लो सुनाऊं कहानी में फातिमा की, जुल्म सितम गम की कहानी ये फातिमा की. मुश्किल बहुत थी इस पे बाबा से जुदाई, माँ पहले जल बसी थी मोहसिन से विदाई, बाग़ी फिदक बिछीना थी हद से सताई, शौहर पे मुसीबत थी कसरत से तन्हाई. दिल थाम लो सुनाऊं कहानी में फातिमा की, जुल्म सितम गम की कहानी ये फातिमा की. सदमे पे और सदमा किस्मत में फातिमा की, शौहर से बैत मांगी ये फ़िक्र फातिमा की, लेने वो घर पे आए मुश्किल ये फातिमा की, हाय वो बेबसी थी बेचारी फातिमा की. दिल थाम लो सुनाऊं कहानी में फातिमा की, जुल्म सितम गम की कहानी ये फातिमा की. پیچھے سے در کے بولی لخت جگر نبی کی، یہ زیب نہیں دیتا بیٹی ہوں میں نبی کی، کچھ تو لحاظ کر لو پیاری ہوں میں نبی کی، بے کس و بے سہارا تھی لاڈلی نبی کی، دل تھام لو سناؤں کہانی میں فاطمہ کی، ظلم و ستم و غم کی کہانی میں فاطمہ، دھکا دیا جو در کو پیچھے وہ کھڑی تھی، اور در سے چوٹ اس کو پہلو میں لگی تھی، پھر در کو جلانے کی دھمکی بھی بڑی تھی، اہل ولا پہ آئے آفت آ پڑی تھی، دل تھام لو سناؤں کہانی میں فاطمہ کی، ظلم و ستم و غم کی کہانی ہے فاطمہ کی، شوہر پہ فاطمہ کے مشکل یہ پڑی تھی، اسرار تھا بیعت کا مصیبت یہ بڑی تھی، بیعت بغیر ان کی جاں پر بھی بنی تھی، غم میں تو سند ان کو مولا کی ملی تھی، دل تھام لو سناؤں کہانی یہ فاطمہ کی، ظلم و ستم و غم کی کہانی یہ فاطمہ کی، دربار میں حاکم کے بیٹی نبی کی آئی، شوہر کو ساتھ اپنے حسنین کو بھی لائی، قرآن سے حق اپنا ان کو تھی بتائی، منظور تھی حاکم کو نا قربہ کی گواہی، دل تھام لو سناؤ کہانی میں فاطمہ کی، ظلم و ستم و غم کی کہانی ہے فاطمہ کی، حاکم سے پھر وہ بولی بابا نے کہا تھا میں ہوں جسم کا ٹکڑا، بابا نے کہا تھا ناخوش ہے فاطمہ تو ناخوش ہوں کہا تھا، راضی ہے فاطمہ تو راضی ہوں کہا تھا، دل تھام لو سناؤ کہانی میں فاطمہ کی، مظلومہ بولی جب میں بابا سے ملوں گی دامن پکڑ کر ان کا گریہ میں کروں گی، مظلومیت کا اپنی شکوہ میں کروں گی، امت نے وفا نہ کی ان سے میں کہوں گی، دل تھام لو سناؤ کہانی یہ فاطمہ کی، ظلم و ستم و غم کی کہانی یہ فاطمہ کی، در پر میں جو آئے وہ بھی میں کہوں گی، پہلو میں چوٹ آئی وہ بھی میں کہوں گی، محسن کی شہادت کا قصہ میں کہوں گی، ٹھکرائی گواہی میری یہ بھی میں کہوں گی، دل تھام لو سناؤں کہانی میں فاطمہ کی، زہرا نے مقام اپنا ان کو تھا بتایا، حاکم نے ندامت سے سر کو تھا جھکایا، دربار میں ہر سو سناٹا تھا چھایا، خطبے نے فاطمہ کے حق کو تھا بتایا، دل تھام لو سناؤں کہانی یہ فاطمہ کی، ظلم و ستم و غم کی کہانی فاطمہ کی، زہرا کی وصیت تھی موت اپنی چھپانے کی، میت کو اندھیرے میں دفن کرانے کی، نماز جنازہ میں نہ ان کو بلانے کی، اور قبر کا پتہ بھی نہ ان کو بتانے کی، دل تھام لو سناؤں کہانی یہ فاطمہ کی، ظلم و ستم و غم کی کہانی یہ فاطمہ کی، اس بے کسی کے حال میں بیٹی وہ نبی کی، لخت جگر تھی باپ کی زوجہ وہ علی کی، گریہ پہ بھی بندش تھی پیاری وہ نبی کی، چل بسی صادق و دلاری وہ نبی کی، دل تھام لو سناؤ کہانی میں فاطمہ کی، ظلم و ستم و غم کی کہانی فاطمہ کی، صلوات اللہم صلی اللہ محمد و آل محمد۔
Next up we have Farsi poetry with Brother Saeed, so let's invite him with a loud salawat.
صلوات بر محمد و آل محمد، اللهم صل على محمد و آل محمد و عجل فرجهم. اعوذ بالله من نفسی، بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم، و هو العلی العظیم، هو الاول والآخر والظاهر والباطن و هو بكل شیء علیم، صدق الله العلی العظیم. اللهم صل على محمد و آل محمد و عجل بإذن الله و رسوله و بإذن مولانا امیر المؤمنین. السلام علیک یا فاطمة الزهراء، السلام علیک یا حجة ابن الحسن، صلی الله علیک یا ابا عبدالله. صلوات بر محمد و آل محمد، اللهم صل على محمد و آل محمد. Yeah, we are going to wait for the slide for a little bit. One more. Yeah, we are going to pass this slide and the next one is going to be this. سینه خواهم ز گل صد چاکتر، دامنی از برگ گلها پاکتر، فکری از نور یقین آراسته، نغمه‌ای از سوز جان برخاسته، صفحه‌ای از مصحف فضل و حکم، خامه‌ای از ملک نون و والقلم، تا که مدح حضرت زهرا کنم، وصف آن انسیه حورا کنم. آنکه عصمت از نگاهش ریخته، بارش عزت به راهش ریخته، رحمت للعالمین را دختر است، و از عطوفت او پدر را مادر است. بر جلالش عالم امکان گواه، آیه های محکم قرآن گواه. هر کسی قرآن تلاوت می کند، مدح زهرا را قرائت می کند. هر کسی قرآن تلاوت می کند، مدح زهرا را قرائت می کند. مهر زهرا خار را گل می کند، مهر زهرا جزء را کل می کند. قلب احمد از کلامش منبسط، نبض هستی با نگاهش منضبط. جزء و کل در اختیار فاطمه است، خواندن قرآن بهار فاطمه. مصطفی زهرا و زهرا مصطفاست، جان زهرا متصل با مصطفاست. مصطفی زهرا و زهرا مصطفاست، مثل مریم با ملائک هم کلام. جبرائیل از حق بر او آرد سلام. نور اوحینا چراغ خانش، اوست شمع و ماسوا پروانش. فاطمه ناموس کبرای خداست، جمع در او محبتهای خداست. در کنار مصطفی همت گماشت، بیمی از شعب ابی طالب نداشت. از شهامت یافت روح اجتهاد، پیش رویش باز شد راه جهاد. بود همسنگ امامت رتبه اش، تیغ بران علی در خطبه اش. مرغ بامش جبرئیل رحمت است، شیعه زهرا خلیل خلقت است. مکتب زهرا ابوذر پرور است، شیعه زهرا ولایت باور است. مکتب زهرا ابوذر پرور است، شیعه زهرا ولایت پرور است. شیعه زهرا به حکم انتساب، مرد را غیرت بود زن را حجاب. شیعه زهرا به حکم انتساب، مرد را غیرت بود زن را حجاب. شیعه زهرا مطیع داور است، شیعه و بی عفتی شرماور است. مرغ دل یک بام دارد دو هوا، گه مدینه می رود گه نینوا. این اسیر بند قاف و شین و عین، گاه می گوید حسن گاهی حسین. می پرد گاهی به گلزار بتول، از تمام نخل ها پرسیدم آری اما پاسخی نشنیدم. یا امیر المؤمنین روحی فداک، آسمان را دفن کردی زیر خاک. یا امیر المؤمنین روحی فداک، آسمان را دفن کردی زیر خاک. آه را در دل نهان کردی چرا، ماه را در گل نهان کردی چرا. آقا جان یا علی جان تربت زهرا کجاست؟ یادگار قربت زهرا کجاست؟ تا ز نورش دیده را روشن کنم، بر مزارش شعله ها برتن کنم. آه از آن ساعت که آتش در گرفت، جام را از ساقی کوثر گرفت. یاد پهلویش نمازم را شکست، فرصت راز و نیازم را شکست. آه زهرا تا ابد جاری بود، آه زهرا تا ابد جاری بود. دست مولا تشنه یاری بود. چون علی شد بی کس و بی هم نفس، گفت یا زینب به فریاد نفس. گفت یا زینب به فریادم برس. چون علی شد بی کس و بی هم نفس، گفت یا زینب به فریادم برس. اللهم صل علی فاطمه و ابیها و بعلها و بنیها و سر المستودع.
إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. قد عادت رحمة ربي مسودة المتون. رحلت قتلت زهراء. خط اللاهوت بقدرته نبأ الأحزان. خط اللاهوت بقدرته نبأ الأحزان. فنعاها ملكوت العليا في كل مكان. وغدا الناسوت بها يبكي آي الإنسان. إنا لله قد ماتت أم الأكوان. زهراء زهرة زهر أتشتكي ذبول ب8 وب10 شجونها تطول. رحلت قتلت زهراء. في المسجد كان أبو حسن إذ ضج عويل. في المسجد كان أبو حسن إذ ضج عويل. وأحس بذي الأرض اهتزت والعرش يميل. لا أدري هل جاء إليه يسأل عزريل اسمح لي أقبض فاطمة فالأمر جليل. Why was the question proposed? فعلي إمام زمان لأمره الرجوع، والموت لديه كعبد وعنده الخضوع. فالصبر رداه قتلت تبقى بأضلع أنفاس بعد المسمار. بدر أحد وحنين ناحوا على المصاب. جبل الإسلام طريحا هوى على التراب. في درب ولاه قتلت والله. وقفت في حضرة خالقها عمرا ملتاعا. لم تشك له جرحا بل حقا قد ضاع. اللهم ربي حبا لأبي حسن أفدي الأوجاع. وقفت في محضر خالقها عمرا ملتاعا. لم تشك له جرحا لكن حقا قد ضاع. ربي حبا لأبي حسن أفدي الأوجاع. اللهم تقبل مني هذه الأضلاع. وبه بأبا الحسن ربي فكن للمهدي ذا انتصار. رفعت كفاه قنوتا وكلها انكسار. والثار دعاه قتلت والله. وتلقى أحمد صورته في أفجع صورة. هي سدرة نور نبوي باتت معصورة. إنا أعطيناك الزهرة أبكته الصورة. إنا أرجعناها لكن مكسورة. المحسن بين يديها أسال دمعتين. حسنا تشتاق روحي وتشتاق للحسين. غدرا أماه قتلت والله. عادت ثمرة أماه قتلت والله. عادت ثمرة طوبى لكن عينا حمراء. عادت ثمرة طوبى لكن عينا حمراء. فالحور أقامت مأتمها تبكي. جلدا عظما جلدا عظما وخدودا حمراء. ويرى أقراطا قد نثرت باللطمة نثرا. كفن الزهراء عليه ما جفت الدماء، كفن الزهراء عليه ما جفت الدماء، ويلي فالظهر جريح من ضرب أشقياء، ومهدياه قتلت والله. عظم الله أجوركم. اللهم صل على.
Thank you, Brother Muhammad. Now for the second night, our speaker is Sheikh Faheem Abdulghani, a scholar of Middle East history and political science with 14 years of seminary studies, currently serving the Houston community at Masjid al-Rasul and the Islamic Education Center, IEC. So let's invite him to the minbar with 3 loud salawats.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وبه نستعين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين, which we can keep alive the zikr of the Ahl al-Bayt. Please give another loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna ataynaka al-kawthar fasalli li rabbika wanhar. Inna shani'aka huwa al-abtar. One of the beautiful surahs we have is this surah, which is the surah of Kawthar. And we have so many surahs. It's very interesting that this one is I think it might be the actual shortest in the whole Quran. And when you read the story about it, it's very interesting. They say there's different meanings that some of the Mufassirin, they give to this surah of Kawthar. One of the First, we look at this word, which is Kawthar, which is from kathara, kathara, which means a lot. Used in the other places in the Quran. That is become more. We have a hakamut takathur. We want to become more and more and more. The people were saying that in this al-hakamut takathur, the people were wanting to have their tribes be bigger because they thought this was a sign of strength and show that they're better than the other. So this brother or this person would say to this one, my tribe is Fulan and Fulan. And the next one was, well, my tribe is bigger. They would start counting the people. So it's a hakamut taka. We look at this showing how important they thought that this was takathur, to have more and more and more. So, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, he had some sons and they died early. And the enemies started to become very proud. They began gloating over this because they felt that now he's going to have no one to carry his mission. So they felt like if we can just ride him out, he comes, he brings people into Islam, and he does this and he does that, then after he dies, then his mission will be over. This is the meaning of the shatam that they give. Also, plus the whole obsession they had with sons and the obsession they had with numbers. And he had a lot of, they were counting them as daughters. We know that they were adopted daughters, but he had daughters, and this is not counting. You don't have any sons. So this is what they were trying to insult the Prophet, which is inni shani'aka huwa al-abtar. That was the shan, that was the insult, that they were saying that we have all these sons, mashallah, look at what we have, and you have nothing. So the answer Allah gave them was Inna Atainaka Kautar. If to the Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Some people say no, it's the large number of followers that Allah gave to the Prophet. That when you look at the number of the Muslims, and they're growing and growing and growing, that now 25%, between 20 and 25%, like 1 in 4 people in the world is actually, some people say 1 in 5, 1 in 4 is Muslim. This was the Kawthar. We gave you a large ummat, that Hazrat Ibrahim used to ask to have a large ummat. That this is one of the answers. Some of them, they say, no, this is not correct. It is the large number of the Prophet's progeny, which is coming from Hazrat Fatima. That this was all of the Saadat, that all of the tribe of the person who was cursing him, nobody knows where it happened to it and where it is. And he was so proud that I have all these sons and I have all this money and I have all these things. And now, you don't have these things. But one of the answers is that Allah gave Rasulullah Fatima Zahra salam alayhi. Please go salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And why we say Fatima Zahra is happy with them. Right? So to get to the water of the river, first you have to have the rizayat of Fatima Zahra salam alayhi. And the Prophet said this many times. Whatever makes her happy, makes me happy. Whatever makes me happy, makes Allah happy. Whatever makes her unhappy, makes me unhappy. Whatever makes me unhappy, makes Allah unhappy. Whoever makes Allah unhappy, he throws them into the hellfire. So if you're trying to get into paradise, firstly, you have to go cross the happiness of Fatima. You can't say, no, there's some other way around it. How? Because if she's unhappy, then you can't cross, because then Allah is unhappy, she's unhappy, the Prophet's unhappy, Allah is unhappy. And now also, the Prophet speaks the Prophet was very, very careful. He didn't just exaggerate. Sometimes we say something and we mean something else. Oh, this car is great. And what I mean is it's great for you, but it's bad for me. I want to get rid of it. We talk like this. The Prophet was very precise. If he said something, he meant that thing. He didn't mean something else. So, another one is we have the title of Fatima, which is Abiha, the mother of her father. So it's a very interesting title. But there's so many hadith that it's extremely important for a person to have the rizayat of his spirit and the meaning of what someone is. The idealism, not just the words. The man a lot of times will preserve the words. The spirit, the feeling, and the meaning is via the women. They're absorbing this aspect, like Hazrat Maryam. The meaning, the feeling of the message of Hazrat Musa, how was it? Via Sayyidah Maryam. This idealism, they said that even how Fatima used to walk used to resemble the Prophet. Because they believing in this way. I feel it with everything. There's two ways there's more than one way of knowing something. Sometimes I can tell you, and you understand it how? Logically. I say, this is what it's like, and this is 1 + 1 is 2, right? Another is you feel it yourself. You see the thing. You feel it in your heart. That feeling, that strength, that's being passed through us. Why? Because of the children of Fatima. That would we have any Islam if not for the children of Fatima? If we didn't have Hassan, because do we see somebody? It has to be into the next generation, because the first generation passes. We need to see Islam expressed as the Prophet would express it to the next generation. How? From the children of Fatima. One time I used this example. I said that let's say how I learned my family, as most of you know, is not originally Muslim. Obviously, originally everybody's Muslim, but over time, coming to America, they lost their religion. Actually, they didn't learn it through, and then somebody wrote a book and I read the book. It goes all the way back, very pure and very straight. So this is the children of Fatima. Another thing that Fatima did is the connection of Rasulullah and Imam Ali. Obviously, they're connected because of Abu Talib and the father of the Prophet, Abdullah. But then it reconnects again with Imam Ali and Fatima Zahra, salam alayha. Please give us salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So the Ummah even is also via Zahra. So we said the river would be via Zahra. The Ummah would be via Zahra. The heaven which Allah gave to the Prophet, all the other people had all the dunya and this and that and the other. Heaven is via Zahra. The children themselves also via Zahra. When you're getting a lot of good, you're getting all of this good that Allah is giving the Prophet, He's giving from this one daughter that the other people were saying, oh, don't worry about it, that's nothing. We have all of these sons. So this is one of the answers that is mani an jami, and it takes all of the other answers and it doesn't leave anything else. That the blessing that Allah gave the Prophet, which included all of these other blessings, was via Sayyidah Zahra. Big animals. You have to kill them because they're so big, you can't kill them with a chagu or something like a knife, right? So there's a symbolism for make a great sacrifice. So we look now at the sacrifice that Rasulullah had to make, because when you get something big, you also have to pay for the thing which is big. You want the big reward, we want this in the akhirah, we have to make sacrifice in this world. Sometimes we make the little sacrifice of when we have Eid al-Qurban, they say that if you have money, you can sacrifice a camel, you can sacrifice the camel to give to the fuqara. If you don't have money for a camel, you can sacrifice a cow, give the cow. Don't have money for the cow, maybe you get a sheep or a goat. Don't have money for the sheep or the goat, you can get a chicken. You sacrifice the chicken. You don't have money for a chicken, they say sacrifice the egg. Make the sacrifice. Allah gave you all of these things, you should sacrifice in the way of Allah. For all of the khairun kathir that Allah has given you. But when you have this big khairun kathir, when you have this great thing that Allah gave you, look at the sacrifice that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made. Himself was shaheed, and Amir al-Mu'mineen was shaheed, and Hussein was shaheed, and Fatima Zahra herself was shaheed. Please give us salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Now, there's so many different benefits that we can get from Tawbah, but I'm going to look at one of the things which we have, which is we look at the Tawbah that the prophets are doing in the Quran. Why does Allah mention these mistakes as they were of the prophets? Now, first of all, most of us should know the answer, but I'll ask the question and we'll see. Are the mistakes of the prophets sins? Dhunub? No. The mistakes of the prophets are what? Tarka awla. What's the difference between a dhanb and a tarka awla? Okay? Now, one is that a person does something which is actually Allah has prescribed is wrong. Meaning like lying, stealing, whatever. This is a sin. Meaning Allah said, this is haram, and you did it anyway. right? Another one is tarka aula. What? The person had two good options in front of him and he chose the lesser of the good options. Meaning he could have done this and he could have done that, but he chose the lesser one by, what's the Quran describes it, jahala, meaning he forgetting the sort of the higher thing and he goes for the lower things. So he's acting in ignorance. This is when we have the tarka aula. So he's acting in ignorance. This is when we have the tarka aula. So one of the things we notice with the other adyan, other religions, they're like, no, the prophets committed dunub. And not just dunub, the worst kinds of dunub, kaba'ir, the great sins. There's two of them. One is older and one of them is younger. And he starts the conversation with my brother, have you heard the word of Jesus, this, that, and the other? And he says, yeah, we know about the Bible, we accept the prophets, but we don't accept everything that you're saying because the Bible has some mistakes. And he said, what? What mistakes? This is perfect, this is the word of God, blah, blah, blah. He said, you have in the Bible that the prophets are committing sins. How can you say that this book is perfect? You have to say that this is wrong. And the person's like, what sins? He starts giving him some of the sins. He's like, these are sins that if a person committed it in your church, you would kick him out of the church and not let him back in. How can this person be the guide for mankind? It's very interesting. The younger one is like, yeah, that's a good point. Then the book must be wrong because Allah wouldn't make a mistake like that. That make a person who's supposed to be the guide and him making sin. The one who is older, that's what happens. You have more skin in the game. When he's younger, he doesn't have any skin in the game. He doesn't have his church and his this and his wife and his all of these things. Oh my God, if I accept that Islam is right, my wife is going to leave me, I'm going to lose my good spot and my friends and my this. He's younger, so their aql sometimes is more sahih and more salim because they're not affected by all of these things. He's younger, he's not invested. He doesn't have all of this to make himself confused because he realizes, wait a minute, if I accept the truth, it's going to get me in trouble. So the younger Christian accepted. Yeah, you're correct. And the older Christian was like, no, the flesh is weak. And he started making all kind of excuses and wow. He mentions these tarka awla, where the Prophet does something less than what he was supposed to do. So, but if it's Pele or I don't know, Ronaldinho or one of these great players, Michael Jordan, right? And they're like, no, why did he miss the last shot? He's not clutch. He's not executing at the time when needed. One of them did it and he was a hero. There's the legend of this person. He did half of it, he was the legend. You've got a random guy off the street, he scored 5 points and he's never going to stop talking about, one time they got me off the street. I was in the fans. They gave me a jersey, it fit, and I came out and with my Crocs on and I threw the ball in. One time I got lucky. Everybody's happy for this guy. You know how they have sometimes they get a fan and they have him throw one shot from the half court and he hits it and they give him $1 million, right? That's us. We might do one good deed, we're like, mashallah, I did that one good deed. Don't forget it. Right? But if the Prophet does it, it's like for his maqam, it's a sin. It's not a real sin. It's a good deed for any of us. For his maqam, it's a sin. You came up short. So let's say, they had the example of Hazrat Dawood, that the people jumped into his house and they came and they asked him some questions, and then Hazrat Dawood, he just gave the fatwa. He just listened to one side, read the body language, gave the correct fatwa, and also gave them a nice little lesson on proper akhlaq and adab, that if you have more you shouldn't be greedy, because one of them had 1 sheep, the other one had 99. He was like, give me your sheep. He's like, no, that's the request. So he made tawbah. No, that's the request. So he made tawbah. Now, sometimes people are like, why are they showing the sins? In this case, let's look at it. Let's do a little bit of reflection. What is Allah? Also, if you read a couple of ayats down, I don't have it with me. Then Allah says that Allah accepted the tawbah and also gave him all of this kingdom and stuff like that and made him imam and XYZ. Why would Allah first say his sin and then talk about all of the rewards and kingdoms and everything that he gave him after he admitted the air quotes sin. Put some thought to it. Allah loves the tawabin. Allah loves the people who are constantly correcting, even if it's just a little. Even if the mistake is not huge, even if it's not really even a technical mistake, Allah loves that He corrected that. And this is the way towards maqam and position with Allah, that you pay attention to everything, even the little things. Everything is a big sin to them. It's not even a sin. He thinks it's a big sin. Now, this is the, we had, a teacher. Yeah, I'll read. Actually, I did have the ayah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It said, we had Hal ataka naba'ul khasm. Ta'wood was like no. Ta'wood was like no. Even though I'm the only one who knows what the mistake is, I still tried to correct it. And he made the sajda and he was like, oh Allah, please forgive me. So we're fixing the sins which are in private. Now, the thing is that these little sins become what? Big sins if you leave it alone. That one time, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad, he was out in the desert with his companions. And he said, I need to start a fire. Please give another salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And go gather some firewood. They said, it's the desert. There's nothing here. There's rocks and sand and there's nothing to start a fire with. They said, no, go find a little of something. And so they said, let's see what we can find. So one finds a little piece of grass, another finds a little stick, another finds this, another finds a broken piece of tree, another finds this and that and the other, until everybody comes back with what they collected, right? So they collect a little this and that, they put it all together, and they start a raging fire and they cook their food with the little sticks. He said, these are how small sins are. Collecting them. And next thing you know, you have a fire on your hands. This is how the akhirat is. They said that when when they have sometimes, I think they had one here, it was close, was it Bastrop a few years ago? Do you remember? They had a fire. And they said, well, how? And so there's nothing to start these small fires. So it collects until finally somebody throws a match, there's a lightning strike, something happens, and then the whole entire forest burns to the ground. Then once it's all burning, then the big trees catch on fire. This is how these small sins collect. When you ignore the small sins, then bit by bit this is why you try to avoid makruhat. First you do the makruhat, then after that you don't have anywhere to go, because the thing is like shaitan attacks you, right? He's some mu'min person. He attacks the mu'min person. First he tries to get him, try to do a big sin. He knows getting well that you go and you try to get some mu'min person to do some major sin, he's not going to do it. Sometimes we don't do it, not even because we're mu'min, we're like, yeah, what do the people say? So I don't even do it, right? So he can't do it that way. Where is he going to try to get you? He tries to get you how? To do the right thing at the wrong time. They say he comes from the right and the left, the back and the front. Slow you down to do a good thing. You're about to do a good deed. Oh, wait till tomorrow, it'll be fine. You're about to give sadaqah, wait till tomorrow. You wait till tomorrow, something happens, you have to spend the money on something else, you forget the sadaqah, so you didn't get the good deed. So he delays you. Or you have an imam, you go ahead of him, he says, no, wait, you go ahead and do it. You have a good deed, you do it at the wrong time. It said, some people say, no, it's not, it doesn't say in the Quran it's haram to drink. It says, stay away from it. No, stay away from it is more shadid, is more harsh than don't do it. That you don't even be at a table where somebody is doing it. Try to be out of the room when someone's doing that. Meaning stay away from it. Don't even get a chance that maybe you get temptation. So we had one Sheikh in Syria, and there's ISIS and them, they killed him. He was Sunni, but they killed him anyway, because he was not supporting their war for the CIA. But he was somewhat knowledgeable, not Shia, but he still was knowledgeable. He used a good example. I was in the bus while we were driving, so I remember an example because he kind of used the example which was munasib for that. So I'm in the bus I'm not driving, I'm riding actually. And he said that a major sin is like you're driving in the road and you turn the car at a 45-degree angle. If you turn a car at a 45-degree angle while you're driving, what happens? The car will flip over right away. Put you in life and death situation right away. You turn the car like that, anything could happen, right? He said a minor sin that you do israr on it, that you insist on it, it's like going 1 degree and staying 1 degree. Now you don't notice at first, you're driving down the road, if you're like me, which is that you keep correcting yourself. One way to keep off nifaq is how? Recite what? Salawat. Please recite salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So, Allah says in the Quran, Inna Allah yuhibbul tawabin. So the people who make tawbah again and again, meaning they make correction again and again, every time they drift off. That it's like this. We look at this from a psychological perspective. I always tell people it's very important to think that after I did the tawbah, that Allah forgave me. Some people, they think, no, it's more mu'min to think that probably I did the tawbah and I didn't get forgiven. And so they just beat themselves up afterwards. They do a sin and they're like, oh my God, maybe I do tawbah. What's the point of me doing tawbah? I might do it over again. From a psychological standpoint, think about it this way. We have this, let's say this is a good example because this room is pretty much cleared out. There's nothing really here. Would anybody come and decide that, I'm going to come and like leave my drink here or park my lawnmower here or do something like that? Why? We would say no. Even a person is not a Muslim and he doesn't know what we use the room for, he would be like, yeah, this is a clean room. I'm not going to do something that would make it dirty. Yeah, this is a clean room. I'm not going to do something that would make it dirty. Instinctively, we're like that. But let's say that we have cans of oil and this and that and, the parts from a used car and it has grease and stuff that might dirty other thing. I don't want to put it there. If you think that I made tawbah and I cleaned it all out, now do you want to go over and now put the sin in the place that you cleaned up? I just cleaned all of the dishes. Sometimes my wife isn't home and so I have to clean the dishes. So she's not here, I have to wash the dishes, this, that, the other. After I get done the dishes, I realize I'm hungry. I need some food. I don't want to eat. Why? Because I don't want there to be more dishes. I just made it dirty. I just cleaned it out. So this is how you are. You don't want to put another sin if you think that it's clean. If you think the paper's clean and you think that this is the first day of the rest of my life and all of my bad deeds are gone, you don't want to write any new sins in. This is one of the important things. Shaitan wants us to think that, it's too late. Oh man, you did so many things. You did this, you did that. What's one more small little white lie? Just throw it on there. You'll do tawbah later. No, do tawbah today. Correct yourself today. And what's tawbah really? You decide that this is the last time. I'm not going to do it again. You're like, what? But Shaitan will come in along and say, don't even make tawbah. You know you're going to do it again. The last week, this has been 5 years now you've been trying to solve this jihad in nafs. You're going to keep on failing. Don't make tawbah. You're just going to ruin it. Why clean it? Because you're just going to make it dirty. If you decide that, no, this is the last time. You've cleaned it all up. If you go with shaitan's way, you're like, "Oh, man, I have so many." It doesn't become a habit. Also, here's the thing. Let's say that we are all of these things. And if you were to die the day after you committed the tawbah, after you got the forgiveness, then if Allah, you can say, I was mujahid fi sabilillah. I was trying to cure this bad habit. Even if I didn't succeed, at least I was in that space of trying. Not that I was in the space of doing what? Israr. One of the things which is important, I'm using this word over and over again. There's a difference between sometimes when we do a sin, it's like khafla or anger, we get a little lust or something like that. The serious sins, even if no matter how small they are, is actually tajarri bi amr Allah. When you commit a sin, you actually commit two sins. One is the act itself. You decided that, you know what, I can't take it anymore, let me drink this haram drink, right? The act itself. But what was more serious than that? You didn't care that Allah said no. This is the thing that really needs to get wiped out. This is the thing that tawbah is really doing. I did care. Yes, my shahwat took me over that one time and I couldn't control myself that one time. But I didn't decide that this is the proper way to do things. Because if you see that the people who they don't do the tawbah, you know what they do? They start feeling bad about themselves. They're racking up all these sins. They've got all of the liquor bottles piled up against the wall, right? So, what do they do to make themselves feel better? What can I do? Oh, it's not really haram, it means this, and after a while, they change the halal to haram. Now they're really in trouble. Now not only are they doing the sin, now they're doing israr on the sin, now there's no way out. It's other people that is haram. At least it's just me and my business, I'm only sending one person to hell. But if I convince other people that actually, this halal is haram, this haram is halal, now I've have a ummah of people following me down this road, that I'm responsible for all of them. So this is where we're seeing where this can go. Please give us salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. It's important for us to keep alive this idea of the mercy of Allah. Very important for us to keep this idea alive. That Allah will be merciful to us. Another very important thing which Allah has given us is the love, the ability and the knowledge of the love of the Ahl al-Bayt. Why is this important? Because there's some of the other madhahib say, no, this is some kind of shirk and X, Y, and Z. We have to be able to answer with reason. Right? Usually we just don't care because we just love the Ahlul Bayt anyway. we don't have the rationale behind it. Especially if we were raised in the culture. But if you were raised out of the culture, so we became Shia over time, we found out and learned and this, that, and the other. We will look at it from this, I will look at it from love, then it's hard to say no to the person. Love, then it's hard to say no to the person. If somebody, let's say that, you had to, some of you are business owners, you had to fire somebody, right? Let's say that this person was best friends with your child or your grandchild. That every time your grandchild came to your work, he would go and hang out with brother Fulan and they would just have a ball. He carries him on his shoulders and they just have way too much fun, right? Or one of the sisters, right? Your daughter loves this other little kid. Now that worker is not a good worker. You're going to be so distressed to fire that I can't fire him now. My kids love him. We share something in common. Just like the story when I tried to, first we have something which we share in common. So now, if we have this love of the Ahlul Bayt in the heart, we have love of the Ahlul Bayt in the heart. I'll ask you a question. Can Allah throw us in hellfire and burn a person with that? I mean, logical impossibility. Because he would be doing what? Burning up the love of the Ahlul Bayt. So Allah's throwing us a lifeline, saving us. One is with our actions. When you love someone, you want to be like them, you imitate them. But one is that saving our actions. When you love someone, you want to be like them, you imitate them. But one is that saving us from the fire. Saving us from the fire we built for ourselves with all of our little evil deeds. That it's not important, we don't clean it out, we don't sweep it out. People had really abused her. They had really mistreated her. One of the things as human beings that we hate to feel is betrayed. We will do anything to not have that feeling. I don't know if anybody's had that feeling, which sometimes it happens by accident. You have a child and sometimes the mom goes one way and the child, especially when you have the areas where you have hijab or something, everybody has a black chador. So the little kid is walking with the mom and then somehow loses the mom's hand and maybe goes the wrong way, right? And they feel, their child, they feel the mom abandoned them. They make like a different sound when they feel abandoned. They feel betrayed. That everybody left me. Everybody was there with me when the times were good. Everybody was there with me when we were winning. They welcomed me into the town. Whenever I see this movie, it's the message. When they have the song, this Tala al-Badru alayna, and the Prophet's coming in with his family, and the people are promising to protect them and help them and be with them and stand with them. Any woman can accept that this happens to her. But they don't want their children to see her oppressed. They don't want their children to be scared. When Fatima wanted to die, just think of her. When Hassan comes, she keeps kissing him on her lips because the Prophet used to kiss him on his mouth. Because his martyrdom was going to come from his mouth. They betrayed her and they're now going to betray her children. When Hussein comes, she keeps kissing him on his neck. When Zainab comes, she's kissing her hand because she's going to be a seer. When she's crying, they hurt me. They hurt me. They hurt me.
The purpose of creation, the leader of our nation, the mother of the ark of salvation, the purpose of creation, the leader of our nation, the mother of the ark of salvation. Your status a mystery, the prophet's gem in the sea. You were the bravest soldier of Ali. Throughout the darkest night, When the people lost sight, you gifted your life for Ali's God-given right. Your blood was shed, but your name will stay. Your stance is why we've not gone astray. Behind the burning door, you prove that the way to God is through Haydar's way. Ya Zahra, 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 Ya Zahra. The free, the cost of silence is more than the cost of resisting the enemy. Your brave daughter Zainab said at best, these pains are nothing except beauty. Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra. Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra. You prove the truth will remain, no matter how much the pain. You are the greatest teacher of Hussein. By God, he will make you proud when he chants for truth out loud, when he is killed for God without a shout. In Karbala, your son will shine just like the sun. The plans of evil fail, God's path has always won. The voice of your son rings in our ears, his everlasting stance killed our peers. How can the Shia be silent when he read the word of God on the spear? Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Thar Allah. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Thar Allah. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Thar Allah. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Thar Allah.
بقية الله جانا بقية الله جانا هاجرك الله مدینه غرق شرار و دود است، بیا بگو جرم من چه بوده است، که عضو تنم کبود است، نشانه دارد ز تازیانه. دوای مرگم اجل طبیب است، دوای دردم قلب حبیب است. علی غریب است، علی غریب است، نشسته تنها کنار خانه. هاجرک الله یا بقیت الله، هاجرک الله. خزان شدم چون گل بهاری، به خود بپیچم به آهوزاری، که دید صیاد کشد به زاری کبوتری را در آشیانه. خزان شدم چون گل بهاری، به خود بپیچم به آهوزاری، که دید صیاد کشد به زاری کبوتری را در آشیلا جانم. هاجرک الله جانم. یا بقیت الله، یا بقیت الله، هاجرک الله. یا بقیت الله، یا بقیت الله، یا بقیت الله. مدینه غرق شرار و دود است، بیا بگو جرم من چه بود است، که عضو تنم کبود است، نشانه دارد ز تازیانه، دوای مرگم اجل طبیب است، دوام دردم قب حبیب است. علی غریب است، علی غریب است، نشسته تنها کنار خانه، آجرک الله یا بقیت الله، آجرک الله یا بقیت الله، یا بقیت الله.
صلوات الله. یا حسین.
روی لبها نور و قدر و کوثر و طه، ذکر نورانی عاشق ها، تسبیحات حضرت زهرا، الله اکبری همه جلال، الله اکبری همه شکر، الله اکبر در راه علی. الحمدلله از بچگیم مادر سایه روی سرمی، صلی الله علیه فاطمه، صلی الله علیه فاطمه، صلی الله علیه فاطمه. از غصه ها چشم عاشق شده دریا، روزه باد نماز ما، تسبیحات حضرت زهرا، سبحان الله باغ بهشت و دود، سبحان الله از لحظه ورود، سبحان الله پیش چشم علی، آیه های کوثر شده کبود، صلی الله علیه فاطمه، صلی الله علیه فاطمه، صلی الله علیه فاطمه، صلی الله علیه فاطمه. روی لبها نور و قدر و کوثر و طه، ذکر نورانی عاشق ها، تسبیحات حضرت زهرا، الله اکبری همه جلال، الله اکبری همه شکر، الله اکبر در راه علی، استاد مثل یکو، صلی الله علیه فاطمه، صلی الله علیه فاطمه.
السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدتي نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك، عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى العقيلة زينب وعلى أبا الفضل العباس. السلام عليك يا علي بن الحسين يا زين العابدين، السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي الباقر، السلام عليك يا جعفر بن محمد الصادق، السلام عليك يا موسى بن جعفر الكاظم، السلام عليك يا علي بن موسى الرضا المرتضى، السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي التقي الجواد، السلام عليك يا علي بن محمد الهادي النقي، السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي العسكري، السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن ويا إمامي وإمام الإنس والجان. عجل الله تعالى لك الفرج وسهل ظهور